How's it going, everyone? Want to cover a lot of PlayStation Plus related news. Before we get into the Plus Extra games rolling out, an absolute massacre is once again hitting the service as far as games getting pulled from it. Look, this is something to certainly talk about, more so than I would say other subscription services, and there's a big difference when it comes to PlayStation Plus Extra. I would argue that the recent months with PlayStation Plus Extra, it's been pretty bad as far as the game rollouts go. So when you look at games leaving the service, it is essentially lessening the value of the service overall. Generally speaking, and this is the case with every subscription service, offerings are gonna be pulled and they are gonna get replaced by new offerings. Generally speaking, when I look at Xbox Game Pass every month, I feel like the content rollout is better than the games leaving the service, but it's gonna go back and forth. With the case of PlayStation Plus Extra, a very interesting element that gets lost in the shuffle a little bit, but I have been bringing it up, is I would argue the games leaving the service have had orders of magnitude greater value than the games entering the service. Sure, that's gonna happen sometimes, but it has been a lot of months straight where I feel like this has happened. So let's go over the 18 games that will be leaving PlayStation Plus Extra in the month of November, and I feel like it is quite the roster of major titles. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Definitive Edition is leaving. Red Dead Redemption 2 is leaving, The Sims 4 City Living, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme vs. Maxi Boost On, Superliminal, Ayun Chronicle Rising, Klonoa Fantasy Reverie Series, Teardown, and then you got the Square Enix titles continuing to get pulled with Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5, 2.5, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. Recently, we had the Star Ocean series get absolutely pulled. Now we got Kingdom Hearts getting pulled. That is significant value that is leaving the service. And in the case for a lot of people, given the length of the Kingdom Hearts games, I imagine there are a bunch of people that were in the midst of playing through them, or maybe played through Kingdom Hearts 1 and were expecting to go back to Kingdom Hearts 2 down the line, so on and so forth. Unfortunately, all of those games will be leaving the service. That includes Melody of Memory, Chorus, What Remains of Edith Finch, Overcooked 2, Blasphemous, and Moving Out. Holy hell, that is the wildest roster of games that is leaving the service, because remember, when we look at PlayStation Plus Extra, the catalog updates, generally speaking, we've had one major title get added, and that is the case with PS Plus Extra in October as well. Dead Island 2 is getting added, which I really like. However, the rest of the catalog, I would describe them as smaller scale titles. In this case, the games getting pulled from the service, I would say Red Dead Redemption 2 is a major title leaving the service, and then all of the Kingdom Hearts games, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 games if you want to look at it that way. 5 titles that I would put in the major category, and then you have GTA San Andreas leaving, Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen, Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme, Superliminal, and all of these smaller scale games leaving. You've got 18 games leaving the service of PS Plus Extra in the month of November. How many games got added to PS Plus Extra in the month of October? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 titles in total, and one of them in Ghost Recon Wildlands was a game that was getting re-added to the service. So you're talking about damn near double the amount of titles that got added in October are gonna get pulled from November. I'm sure there are going to be the typical people that are going to be like, oh, this is just like every other subscription service. No, PS Plus Extra has been egregious, and this is not being talked about enough. Yes, it's an optional subscription service, and no, I don't ever expect the subscription service to be on the level of Xbox Game Pass. I did compare it in the sense that the value cycle should be comparable in terms of games entering the service versus leaving the service, but I never expect day one big budget titles. The reality is, all of these games that are getting pulled were available in PlayStation Plus, and the games getting added in October are much lesser. Now, we'll see what they decide to roll out in November for additions, but I feel like I've said this multiple times where I'm like, yo, the additions in the month of September better be big. In the month of October better be big. In September, I think they pulled Horizon Forbidden West, and I don't recall the September catalog update being that good. The November catalog update, we'll see, but you better be dropping some big things given all the games that are getting pulled from the service. You up the price of the yearly subscription service. Yes, that was like a year ago, but it's still something to talk about given that the service in PS Plus Extra, I feel, offered so much more value prior to the price increase. And what has happened? The price has been increased. That just happened, and I would argue, and I feel like it's inarguable at this point, that the value has gone down. Literally, half the amount of games are being added versus that are leaving the service. Now, ultimately, we'll get a better answer of this when we do look at what the catalog offerings are in November, and maybe it'll be big, but are you going to get a game at the level of Red Dead Redemption? Are you going to get games at the level of the entire Kingdom Hearts saga? I don't know. We'll see, but this is, once again, a significant, I would say, value massacre to the PlayStation Plus offerings, and definitely another month. Again, you've got Star Ocean completely pulled. You've got first-party titles like Horizon Zero Dawn. They pulled that a while ago to get ready for this remaster release. They pulled Horizon Forbidden West. They pulled Spider-Man 2018 to re-release the remastered version, and you just look at it month after month, the value of Plus Extra just going down the toilet, and it's Sony being stingy in every avenue. We gotta up DualSense controller prices. We gotta up PlayStation Plus prices while lowering the value proposition. It's like they're trying to lessen how much they spend on Plus Extra while still charging the same amount, if not more, if you were a yearly subscriber, which I imagine most people were, and they upped the price of that so they could ultimately have a higher profit margin. I get it, it's a business, but man, with PlayStation recently, I feel like it's been a little bit egregious. Also, rolling out this month with Plus Extra and Plus Premium, these are live right now, and the games I mentioned are going to be live until, I believe it's November the 18th. So 18 games on November the 18th. We'll see if they add some big titles for the holidays, but these games are also getting added to the service today, which I do think there's some good stuff. Dead Island 2, this is a game that I've been talking about in previous videos, being like, Dead Island 2 would be the perfect type of title to add. You've got the Halloween theme for the month of October, and it's a game that literally is on sale for $35. So if we want to talk about value proposition, Dead Island 2 is actually a significant value proposition addition. I just think that $35 price tag is ridiculous for Dead Island 2. It's a game that I feel like the DLC at this point should be bundled in with the game. I'm not saying add the DLC to Plus Extra, but the $35 edition certainly should include the DLC. But I digress, that's a good addition for sure. 2 Point Campus, the Dark Pictures Anthology, The Devil in Me, Gris, great game there. It is fairly cheap all the time, but it's still a fantastic game. Return to Monkey Island, Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed, Firefighting Simulator, The Squad, Overpass 2, Tour de France 2023, and Ghost Recon Wildlands, which is a re-edition. I will also say Plus Premium, getting some nice additions with The Last Clockwinder, Dino Crisis, Siren, and R-Type Dimensions EX. Dino Crisis, one that a lot of people have been asking for, and Siren, a nice addition as well. And a lot of games that go with the October and Halloween thematics, which I'll give them some brownie points for that, for, you know, putting at least a little effort as far as the games that they are adding. I would say with Dead Island 2 being included, October's a decent addition, but again, when you look at the quantity of games getting pulled, the additions have not been all too compelling. I really go back to that, where there are so many significant titles getting pulled, and I've been covering that month after month, where it's just like, man, Forbidden West is leaving the service, man, the entire Star Ocean titles are leaving the service. Final Fantasy as a whole left the service, like a lot of the Final Fantasy games, and those were games that offered a lot of value to Plus. When you actually look at Plus Extra now, you have a lot of the Square Enix JRPG offerings getting pulled. You have first-party titles getting pulled in Horizon Forbidden West and Zero Dawn. You do have Last of Us Part 1 getting added, which I like, but first-party titles, I feel like they should just perpetually be in there, and it's so blatantly obvious what you're doing when you pull a game like Zero Dawn. Like, that's a game from 2017. You're just pulling that so you can incentivize people to buy the remaster. Let's be exactly honest and transparent as to why that's happening. In first-party games, you're not agreeing to any licensing deals. You own those games. You can have them in the service, and sure, keep Remastered as a not a Plus Extra title and make that $9.99. That's fine, but now you doubled the price of Zero Dawn. You're not offering it on Plus Extra, and you're doing this remaster release. It's just a concoction that I'm like, man, Sony, come on. It's just like the little things like this most people aren't gonna notice. You ain't gonna trick me. You ain't gonna, you know, pull one over on me, and I'm gonna call it out as I see it. And I want a quality subscription service for PlayStation. I think the idea of a game subscription service is great. I don't think the core business should be built around it, or I understand the core business not being built around it. You know, Microsoft doing Microsoft's own thing, I think that gives them something different than PlayStation, which they desperately need, at least something anything to differentiate themselves, but I understand Sony not building their core business around a subscription service. However, there's opportunity to offer more quality, and if you're upping the price of said subscription service, at the very least, I expect the value to stay stagnant because everything seemingly goes up in price, but in this case, the value has been greatly decreased when you look at PlayStation Plus. I just don't think that's arguable. There's gonna be people in the comments, I'm sure, dude, every subscription service has games leaving, every subscription service has movies and television shows leaving. But in this case, the additions don't even equal the games leaving the service, and they are far below, I would personally argue. Now, you could make the argument, hey, the idea is you should have played through all of these games already, or the ones that interest you, and now you have an influx of new games to check out, but overall, the value has been lessening and lessening and has been waning and waning. But that's my 2 cents. Interested to hear what you guys think. Maybe you guys think I'm all too critical, but yeah, a bunch of big titles leaving the service. It is what it is, I guess. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.